Greetings everyone, and for today's video I have one of the classics, which is also very popular still. It has around 80,000 people on average, so considering it's 2007 game, it's still very active. Now before getting to the gameplay, you can see that the settings are completely maxed out. I also used 4x MSA and full HDR. Also, I unlocked FPS, by the way, in the console. By default it has 300 FPS limit, but I unlocked to 1000. Of course it's not going to run at that. Now as you can see, I joined fully populated server, which had 33 players, which is absolute maximum, and I think it's worst case scenario. Though the FPS is completely terrible. Remember, this is game from 2007 and it dips into 100 FPS area, which is insane. Now it could be understandable if this game was single player and just didn't have any community, but that's the opposite. The game is still very populated and it still gets updates, though those updates are mostly content. And here's the biggest issue with this game. There is no optimization done. Basically, the recommended system requirements are completely outdated. I recently saw one of the videos on this made by Random Gaming in HD, also a very good channel. He tested on the recommended setup and it ran at basically single digit FPS, and that is a recommended requirement. So imagine how bad it became in optimization. I remember I played this game on AMD Athlon XP 1600 plus, I think, and it ran at 30, 60 FPS, I can't remember for sure, but it was definitely playable. So if I was to run with that setup for today, it would run at also single digit FPS. Also, I watched one of the Chromcat video, which also demonstrated how the game looked in original form and in modern. And not only it runs worse, significantly worse, but it also looks worse. So yeah, this is really bad, considering the game is still very active and has around 80,000 concurrent players. And of course, as you can see, the game can only utilize about 3 CPU threads, and it's mostly CPU limited game. As you can see, GPU is barely doing any work, and it's mostly the CPU. Now obviously the game is really good. There is a reason why it's still very active, but from benchmarking perspective and from optimization, it doesn't look good. It's actually one of the worst case scenarios. For example, World of Tanks have such a great optimization. It's very old as well. I think it was released in 2008, and in current version it can utilize loads of CPU threads and it just runs very well on various CPUs, unlike this game. But yeah, you can also type in the comment section below how many FPS do you get in fully populated servers. It would be really interesting hearing from you. Also, please keep in mind that these benchmarks, especially in this game, are not very consistent. If you try to compare with other videos, you can see that those mostly will use different amount of enemies, just different maps, and the whole FPS will drastically differ from other videos. So it's not like, you know, it's totally possible that exactly same configuration someone might get like 50 FPS more. It just depends on the situation.
Demo coming, run. want to know, Hopers?
Fires, maybe.
No, that's not fun. Okay, peace.
I think spook. Fuck you, Pyro.
Sniper is fight.
There is fight in the base.
Could be a small house over there.
Pyro! Still alive.
I'm on gas, my scoot.
Sniper, calling here.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I'm actually very surprised by the FPS. I honestly thought that it's going to run at least at 200 FPS, but that was just not the case. But yeah, thank you very much for watching and see you next time.